Hello and welcome to Essentials to Heal Yourself. I'm Laura Humphreys. So today I'm going to address a comment or question that a viewer wrote in after one of my videos. And I thought this was a really good one, and it's actually a big conversation. So I'm going to take this video or this episode and just answer that. Okay. So again, thank you for writing your comments and your questions. Anytime you have a comment or question for me, please leave them at the bottom of the episode or the video, and I will do my best to answer them and even do videos on them like this. Okay, so this viewer asked what to do when surrounded by negative people all day who suck the joy out of life with their negative attitude to everything. And you have to be with them. So I know this is a really big one. And so many people I know are just stuck in this type of a situation, and it can be infuriating and frustrating, and you want to just tear your hair out or even just almost strangle the other person because they're driving you crazy. So I know this is a difficult one. So let me give you some tips and insights of how I would approach it, as well as from my own experience in dealing with tough things like this and how to get through it without losing your mind. Okay. So what I have learned over the years is when you have situations and people that you're interacting with that make you want to bang your head against the wall, it takes a little bit of time to turn your thinking around in this way, because the knee-jerk response is you just want to lash out, you want to engage, you want to fight or argue or criticize or do passive aggressive things, and then you're pretty much into an argument, or you're doing like the cold shoulder, and it's just ghosting them, and it's just, there's all these little games that people play rather than just coming straight out and saying you're driving me crazy, and sometimes that happens too. But I think a lot of those responses, which really don't make the situation any better, people do them, or we do them because we don't know what else to do. And after so many times, I mean, how many times can you tell somebody that, to stop doing the thing, and you're now blue in the face and they don't care and they're not listening? So what I've learned is, rather than always looking at solving the issue by going at it outwardly, dealing with the things, with the person, the situation, bring your attention in and ask yourself, what can I do about this? How can I strengthen my own self, strengthen my sense of confidence and power in myself and my power in this situation? And that also involves looking at the situation and even the person as your teacher, rather than somebody to argue and fight with and be in some combative interaction with them, even if that is really subtle and or passive aggressive. Okay. And that in itself is a really big mind flip. And sometimes it's so difficult to do. I know, I've done it. But if you can look at them as a teacher, like the universe and life, the big picture is supportive of my growth, wants to see me succeed at my goals. Okay. So that's like an underlying attitude or belief to approach your whole life with. And so when you have situations like this, then you can say, okay, this has been presented to me. This person is in my face making me crazy. What can I learn from this? What are they showing to me about myself that I probably am not aware of? And what internal adjustments do I need to make in order to be willing to learn from this situation and be willing to look at things about myself that I may not have wanted to see? And instead of seeing that, then it's too easy to put all of your focus and your energy outwardly into the situation, and then you're engaging with the person that's making you nuts. okay, and sucking the life out of you, okay? So understand that it comes down to your inner work inside of you, because you're the one that's feeling the joy and the life force energy being sucked out of you. The other person probably is oblivious to that, and they probably don't care, especially if they're stuck in their negative attitude. They're just, they figured out that is a pattern to where they can get energy and attention and manipulate and on and on and on, and they're feeding off of that, okay? They're feeding off of what they can pull and extract from other people, especially in terms of life force energy, because they don't know that they can generate it from within themselves. They have not developed themselves enough to be able to move beyond that negative pattern. Hence, they suck the joy out of you. They're sucking your life energy out of you and leaving you feeling like you're dried up and tapped and angry and on and on. So therefore, the work becomes protecting yourself, claiming your energy back, claiming your power, your life force energy back, protecting it so that that person no longer can suck it out of you. So to do that, it requires that you walk through this little process that I'm going to explain to you now. So first, recognize that you're being presented an opportunity to learn something about yourself that you have not been aware of right up till now, prior to now, okay? And so be willing to learn. Be willing to say, okay, what are they teaching me? What can I learn from this? So how do you go about doing that? You say, okay, so they're sucking the life out of me and they are triggering me into feeling angry, feeling like I want to smack them, for example, okay? So that's those are like your little thread of your trail of breadcrumbs that you follow. It's like, what is a specific emotion that they are triggering within you? Because it's your energy, it's your emotional energy that is being triggered. And when you get into that emotional angry state, that's when they've got you. That's when they've just sucked your life force out of you, okay? So the discipline and the self-mastery and self-growth comes from no longer becoming triggered emotionally by whatever they're doing, becoming more neutral. And I know it's hard. Some days it's really hard, but that is the growth. That is the mastery, the self-mastery. And so you could, let's just for this example, let's just use anger, okay? So they're highly negative, they're sucking the life out of you, and it makes you angry. So then you got to go inside, okay, so I'm dealing with angry. What's underneath the anger? What does the anger have to teach me about myself and about the beliefs that I've had about my life and other people that I'm probably not currently aware of? The fact that you're not currently aware of them is that you are being triggered. Okay, so how do you go about discovering that? You've got to first deal with the emotional charge of the anger. You've got to diffuse that emotional energy. How do you do that? So when you get a chance, go outside, take off your shoes and socks, barefoot on the ground. Ground yourself. Just walk in nature, walk in barefoot in the grass. Breathe deeply for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however long, until you can feel the emotional intensity. Just calm down. Okay. Or if you feel like you've been super drained that day, do the same thing. Go outside, walk in the grass, breathe deeply, allow the energy of the earth, of the wind, of the sun, of nature to fill you up. Just breathe in. Breathe in all of the life force energy that the nature that you're in can give you in that moment, so that you can just kind of start to feel your center again. Okay. So once you've done something like that, to just move aside the emotional energy. And you may have to do this several times. Actually, you probably will, because if it's a long-standing pattern, it's going to take you a while to learn this. So go outside, do lots of breathing, ground yourself. You can also just go home, or if it's the negative person is somebody you're living with, if you can find somewhere that you can just relax, lay down or sit down and start to do some meditating and some deep breathing, some breath work. Not in addition to being outside. So what I do is I'll sit, I have a place in my house where it's like, that's my meditation spot. So that's where I always go. So I train my body to that when we're sitting or laying in this area, then it's to meditate. Okay. So I go in, I close my eyes, relax my mind as much as possible, start breathing. And on every exhale, the intention is to breathe out all of the anger, all of the emotional soup that got stirred up from your interaction with this negative person. Breathe out everything. Just breathe it out, breathe it out, breathe it out. And as you're doing it, see if you can start to sense and feel your body, to see if you can perceive where that energy of anger is being stored in your body. Oftentimes it's the liver or somewhere in the belly. It could also be in the heart, or it could also be coming from the reproductive organs. Okay, but it's going to be in your abdomen somewhere. Okay, in the organs of your abdomen. So see if you can just observe and just sense and feel your body, and see if you can, as you're exhaling out all of the anger and all of the feelings, if you can start to sense and feel the shift of the energy in your body as you are releasing that emotional storm. And over time, you'll develop a sensitivity to where you can start perceiving this. Okay. So again, it's a skill. It's going to take some time to learn and to do. And, you can also get some, have healers and life coaches and energy healer workers assist you with this process. Okay, but sometimes you can't always go to them. You've got to figure out how to take care of it yourself. So this is how you do it. Is just breathe it out. Okay. So after a few minutes, it could be 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on the day, depending on how many times you've been doing this and how proficient you're getting with this. You will feel your body just calm down. You will feel the emotional edge go. You'll feel your mind come back to center. You'll feel more clear. This is a very important part of the process, is to look for or allow that state to come to you, where it's like, the emotional storm has passed for this moment. Good. In this clear, calm state, then you can ask the divine mind, you can ask your higher self, God, angels, however you want to call it. What is the belief that I've been holding that is the underlying generator of this anger? What is the belief about myself and about this person or about my life that this negative person is stirred up within me? Present it to me, show it to me. I'm willing to look at it and to see what it needs. Okay. And you may have to do this several times, and there's layers. So one day you may get an answer about whatever the belief or the thing is. And then you can look at it and say, okay, thank you. Then you can sit with that process. And it's like, do I still believe this? Is it still true? Do I still want to hold this into my current reality now? Does it apply right now, today, of who I am? Or is it a throwback to when I was 5 years old and I had some interaction with a parent and on and on? Okay. So you want to look for, or you want to allow that information to come to you. That is the learning process. This is gold. This is the information that you're looking for. Because once you can start to receive that information from within yourself and receive these insights and make these connections and process the information of like, oh, that's what I was feeling or believing about this person or about myself, that this negative person shoved up into my face. And now I can see that, and I can let that belief go, or I can let that emotion or whatever go, because it's no longer relevant. Okay. So as you do that a few times and you start to peel away the layers, so every time you have an interaction with this negative person and they start to like, again, suck the life out of you and make you angry and whatever, there's like, okay, the next layer in this process is coming up to present itself to me. The next thing that is this wanting to come out so that I can become aware of, so I can learn from it. Okay, so you've got to be willing to learn, be teachable from this process. And again, it's focusing on you. It's not about engaging in all of the games and all the things that the negative energy person wants you to do, because then you just sucked yourself into their drama. It's about you. Okay. So once you've done this a few times and you start peeling away the layers, also observe when you go to interact with this negative person again, or when you're around them, note your own emotional response. If it starts to become more neutral, the loudness, the intensity of it starts to come down because you're less emotionally engaged with them. You're more distant, you're more neutral because you're dealing with your own stuff, your own self. And so you'll notice over time, and again, it doesn't happen overnight. You'll notice as you learn your way through this process that they can do whatever they want and you don't care because it doesn't affect you anymore. It doesn't pull the carpet out from underneath you and suck the life out of you anymore. You're able to hold your own. Okay, you're able to, stay bound. It's not even stating boundaries, because that's in some ways, it's like, I'm putting up this fence because I feel weak inside. That doesn't get you anywhere. It's developing the strength within yourself to say, this is who I am. This is not acceptable anymore. And it's neutral. You're not engaging a combat. You're just neutral. And you're replenishing yourself with your life force energy by going out into nature and doing the things of this inner healing work. Okay. So over time, as you do this, you will also begin to observe that the situation around you changes. You may not be as drawn to interacting with that person, or an opportunity comes, or a person says this, or a new person comes into your life. Things in your outer environment will shift and change such that that negative person is not having such a dominant position or role in your life anymore, because you have changed you. You have changed the nature of your energy by releasing all of that emotional charge, that the anger, the sadness, whatever the emotion is that this negative person triggers in you. When you clear that out and understand the underlying thought patterns that you had beneath the emotion, and you're willing to learn about yourself through this process, they don't have any hold over you anymore. Therefore, oftentimes they will start to become more distant. They're no longer in your life as in a predominant way anymore. Or like a job change, or relationships change, or even you move, or an opportunity to move comes about. Things will happen to move you into a different direction, naturally and organically, away from this negative person, because you have learned what they were there in your life to teach you. You've received the lesson, so to speak, of, oh, this is what they wanted to show me about me. This is, even though they weren't consciously aware of it, but it's like life was showing me, giving me an opportunity to learn about myself. I took that opportunity and I did that. And I learned all these things, and I discovered all this other stuff about myself. And I feel so much stronger and more emotionally clear and confident and respecting and loving of myself, that I no longer require to be in an environment of negativity. Okay, does you see how that goes? So I hope I've explained it, because it follows without giving you a lot of like perspective and context of the nature and of energy and how it works and the natural laws of creation and, you know, all the things that of why this works. Okay, but it just, trust me, and it does, because I've done it for years. And as you understand more about natural law and the principles of creation and the natural laws of physics, of how energy works, of how your energy system works, then this makes more sense, or you can understand it and apply it more, because it is a science. So I'm just giving you little tidbits here of just the nuggets of, you know, the first initial steps. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some things to take on your way that can be of value that you can start applying, and, you know, just make your way through it, or understand that it's an opportunity for you to learn about you. Okay. So with that, let me know your thoughts. If any other questions about this, I'm happy to answer them. Again, it's a big topic. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Please like this video, share, and subscribe to my channel. Help me grow my channel so that I can interact with you guys more, and on a more one-to-one personal basis, answer more of your questions. And as always, with all of my things, then I have a gift for you in the description below this episode. It's a PDF you can download that talks about the 7 unconscious beliefs that prevent you from healing. And so I encourage you to grab that, download it, look through it, see how it applies to you. And with that, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.